we are back.
Alrighty, and we're back for round number 4. This one we've chosen because it has Zada in it pretty much exclusively. We wanted to see a Zada game.
Yeah, Derek loves Zada, so here we are.
Yeah,
We did Derek
we've
what he
also got
wants.
Gretchen for Zada to attack, Raph, Red Light Stalwart to make a bunch of tokens, and then Sir Conrad to do that kind of stuff. We've seen a couple Conrad decks today. This is Aaron again. We saw him last round. Zada kicking off with some goblins, as you like to see.
First off, I want to say Gretchen's innocent, doesn't deserve the aggro, and Gretchen's never done anything wrong ever. So, thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
Yeah, well, jury's
leave,
still out on that one.
leave my girl alone.
Look, a Utopia Sprawl on
That's a fair magic.
on
That's a
turn
green
2.
card.
That's true. I do like my green cards.
Green cards are fair magic cards.
Yeah.
Look, didn't even
Looks
play
like
Gretchen turn 2. Okay.
down here, the Raft player's we're gonna land cycle
Mental Journey.
Mental Journey. That's right. The draw 3.
I love that card.
You know what? I like a lot of the land cycles. I like the creatures that land cycle better than the spells. But I'm a creature guy, so
Yeah,
let's
and
just
I'm a
personal
spell.
preference.
I agree.
There we go. Yeah.
Agree to have our own separate, views there. But
Yeah.
I'm curious. I am
But
curious why Bray didn't throw down a Gretchen there. I mean, probably wanting to counterspell something, but I don't know what you care about counterspelling. Unless you think
right.
Stein can like ritual out Zada, but that's not
Yeah, I
really how
don't know.
Zada works. Zada usually wants to establish a board, so
Point of order. So cycling the mental journey, that's a blue and a colorless to cycle. Is that right? Because he's got 2 island or 2 planes.
ooh, that is true. I'll sick my guard dog Liam on him.
Go get him. Meanwhile, we're just deploying some other like sacrifice fodder for Conrad and moving right along back to Zada for turn 3. Skirk Prospector is a great way to go here. The big thing with Zada obviously is that when you play Zada, you want to just dump stuff and
yeah, Stein's not gonna sack all his board to cast Zada right here. I don't think.
Oh no, I don't think so either. But on the Zada turn, like quote unquote the Zada turn, it'll be a big part, I think, of making sure you get a lot of cards in your hand, a lot of resources on the battlefield. All right. Tapping our dirty enchanted land here for another aura.
Yeah, that one's overgrowth. So lots of mana. I'm just very confused by the no turn 2 Gretchen, but that's fine.
It's a hubris, I think.
Oh, my bad.
Right, we're back around to Raph.
My apologies. All right.
Yep. So Raph is because like obviously like the token route is good because you want creatures to tap to Raph, and he kind of buffs them with his ability. I think I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of the token plan personally.
Same.
A lot of other things that you can be doing with creatures to generate a lot of value off Raph that doesn't require you to play a bunch of 1/1s that are pretty vulnerable. Again, like at a lot of tables, there's a lot of games where, or a lot of tables where you'll find tokens just get obliterated.
And you're like the token spells are fairly underwhelming, right? Like
there are 3 that I'll almost always play: Triplicate Spirits, Battle Screech, and Raise the Alarm. I like Raise the Alarm a lot because it's an instant. But like the 4 mana spells that make 3 tokens, I'm not a huge fan of those. Like Captain's Call, those sorts of things. But I think the 3 that make flyers, or the 2 that make flyers, Battle Screech and Triplicate Spirits, are very good. Because I mean, it's hard to attack profitably with tokens into a lot of tables, into a lot of opponents. I think the spirits and birds are a great way to get around that.
I mean, thinking about Wrath, I've looked at this card a lot. I mean, 2-man commanders are my jam. I
I
think
love
that's
this card personally. It's like a design that I absolutely adore.
yeah. And there's a lot of cool, good, like not, you know, I don't want to say tokens are necessarily bad, but there's a lot of creatures you can just play that are good that work well, like
Hmm.
Murmuring Mystic. Wrath wants a
Yeah,
really really slow game though, and
right.
it's light on remove. I mean, it has removal, but it's kind of light on it. Like blue and white do more like counter spells, and they have some
Yeah,
removal
more
from
tempo
white.
stuff.
Um, so I think in a pod like this, it'll have a lot of problems because Zada is trying to be blistering
Yeah,
fast. Gretchen is gonna have more mana, and then Sir
hmm
Conrad is kind of built to grind and attacks in a way that Raph can't really
yeah.
interact well.
There's a lot of good stuff here that I like. Like for example, where is it? Spiketail Drakeling. It doesn't play Spiketail Hatchling. I like that card a lot too. Judge's Familiar, like these sorts of things that come down, whether you're attacking with them or not. Like they're good to tap to Wrath. They're also good to just attack with. They're evasive bodies that are disruptive. I like that stuff a lot. Stony Brook Schoolmaster is like insane. Um, and then there's a lot of cards that just like when you tap them, it does a thing. Like even like it's not impactful, but Judge of Currents. It's a 1 mana or 2 mana 1/1. Whenever a Merfolk you control becomes tapped, you gain a life. So if you have like that and a Schoolmaster, you're just gaining 2 life every spell cast and making a token. There's a lot of like cool puzzle pieces you can fit together to maximize the value of the creatures that you're tapping to activate that ability.
Yeah,
Um, it just like I think that token creation spells are like kind of the lowest hanging fruit of like a Wrath skeleton, and I don't like a lot of them honestly. I think there's
yeah,
some good ones, but a lot of them I don't think are that great.
yeah. I mean, you want to
Rouse-
play the spells that like incidentally make a creature too, right? There's few counter and bounce spells that do it. They're not the
yeah,
best, but like I think that's the direction you want to go, as opposed to like, oh, I'm gonna play this 3 mana make 2/1/1 type deal. I
yep.
really don't like those.
I do. I will say I do like Rousing of Souls a lot. You don't. This is not a card that you see very many places. It's 3 mana, and you parlay, so each player reveals top card of the library, and for each non-land card revealed, you make a 1/1 spirit, and then everybody draws the card. So, granted, you give each opponent a card, you get a card, but you also get somewhere between like maybe 2-ish spirits as well. Um, I think that card's better than it reads.
Yeah, that's very fair. Parlay is a really interesting mechanic too. That
Yeah.
um, I don't know. I know we don't have a lot.
There aren't a lot of them at common, but even the ones that we have are like generally not great. I think Rousing of Souls is unique, just because, like I said, like the value of flying tokens is so much better than non-flying tokens. All right.
So we got Viscer Seer and Audacious Thief going sideways. Audacious Thief, one of my. I really like that card a lot. I love all
I do
creatures
too.
that draw cards when they attack or
Hmm.
when they deal damage, but there's a cost to that one, and Sir Conrad will definitely feel that. So
Yeah. All right. So we've got 2 goblins, a prospector, and a festival crasher. 3
and no
mountains.
lands.
Yeah.
Stop me if you've heard this before, but I feel like people should play more lands.
Funny you should mention that. It's been kind of like a running theme.
28 lands in this auto list. I mean, it really wants to not hit lands. I get it, but
You really just need to get to 4 for Zada.
the issue is if Zada gets countered, you lose, right? Like,
Yep. That's exactly right.
and that's the cost of doing business, I suppose. But
Right.
that's not the business I'm interested in. I don't want to just auto lose. So,
Mm-hmm. Just like turning them sideways. There's a couple great targets to attack here.
I think you attack, and then
Everybody,
I imagine you deploy Zada here and just say, hey, I got to try to do something
yeah. I mean, clearly we're not doing that.
into a table of 2 counter spells, though. Seems not great.
Yeah.
Or 2 blue decks with combined lots of mana untapped.
Right. Gonna go cycle a I don't know what they're called. Something Marauder or Blightfang. I don't know. It's a 5/5 menace, backup 2, so swamp cycles for 2. Gonna get that guy out of here, get a swamp. That's the thing is, people play a lot of the land cyclers instead of lands, and you know, I don't want to say it's a bad idea, but
You're paying
it's
for a land drop, right? So
faulty logic. Yeah.
yeah. I don't. Yeah, I'm not one to cut a land for land cyclers. I know that's a
Popular
decision
line of
a
reasoning.
lot of people do, but yeah, like it doesn't hold up.
Yeah. The Goblin Wizardry from Stein. Sacrifice a goblin to prospector to do it. So we're gonna make 2/1/1 red prowess tokens.
So yeah, just netting a token essentially.
Yep. Yep. And like a good token.
Yeah, it's good.
Prowess in this deck is very good. I'll give the Festival Crasher plus what? +2, +3 power, +2. I don't remember how much.
I don't remember how that card reads. Let me look.
I think it might be +3.
I think so. I played against Sniff.
Oh, +2. Okay.
Yeah, +2. I think the Kiln Fiend style cards are underplayed. In cPDH, I know Sniff would never
Sure.
admit, anything he plays is competitive, but he has a Noggle Ransacker deck that plays like all of them, and it can get out of hand pretty fast. There's Levon, who's kind of the same thing, fits it. I think, and Sorko Sailor paired with Levon is pretty crazy. So I think there's a blue red. I think the 6-card Pauper deck was called Eye Candy, making fun of Nivix Cyclops. So I think there's a version of that that's waiting to happen at some point or another.
Yeah. I think there's definitely something with those cards too. I like them all quite a bit.
Yeah, I just don't see them enough.
It's just kind of finding the right kind of shell for them.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's similar to like a TPI shell. Just lots of draw, lots of burn, lots of permission to stop people from winning while you just kind of beat them down. And Sword Coast is going to force the commander damage portion. And when you're doing all the free spell shenanigans, those are awesome for Levon because those usually cost like 4 mana, and Levon just gets huge. So, yeah, that's a deck I should work on at some point, but I think it's waiting to happen.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, Village Rites on Viscera here from Aaron.
That just tells me he doesn't have a ton of action.
Yeah, probably doesn't want to deploy Conrad. I mean, these blue players are just like chomping at the bit to counter this Zada. I mean, I guess maybe Raph's missing land drops, so
yeah.
But like Bray's living the dream right now, I think.
Oof, that's rough. Down in sorrow.
Oh, that is real bad for Stein. Ooh, I got Mizu thinking about Levon now. We can talk, Mizu. You make the list. We can work on it. I'm all for it. So, add Mind Collapse. That's my first suggestion. Yeah, this is gonna be a real rough on Stein.
Yeah.
Wait, why? Oh, I wonder what.
What's the turn order here?
So Bray is responding. I feel like this is a capsize.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, it's a capsize. Yeah, we've seen that one before.
Targeting. I don't remember what Aaron had in play, but.
Audacious Thief.
Oh, yeah, it was Audacious Thief, so it doesn't get Undying. Yeah, okay, got it. Because Aaron casts Undying Evil on the Audacious Thief.
Oh, sure. So. That makes sense. Okay.
I don't know why anyone would fight over that. Except, I mean, getting rid of the, I guess, capsizes were something, but.
Yeah.
I think on this board, an Audacious Thief is going to do a lot of work for
It's
Aaron.
gonna draw a lot of cards. Yeah, I mean, you know, Evening Sky is a free attack every turn with Audacious Thief right now.
Yeah, so is Bray. I mean, everyone.
Yeah.
Stein is about to be.
Right. Left with a Festival Crasher and nothing else. Unless like if he has like something to like prowess up his tokens, maybe sacrificing.
The ones that are going to die no matter what, yeah. You have to cast 2 spells, though, right? So.
Yeah. So it has to be
So
like sacrifice Prospector, sacrifice Goblin token for like 2 1-mana spells.
Yeah, or one that pumps, and I don't know if there are many that pump toughness.
Sure. There are a few. There are a few.
I mean, you either have it or you don't. I don't know what you. I'm the worst kind of person at the table. Like, I would be okay. Do you have anything? Or are you passing right now? But you have 4 cards. You know, there's not that much of a decision to make here. We got a Liam back in the building.
Yo. Still in the tank. Drown Sorrow has yet to resolve. I don't know. I feel like this is a decision that is either gonna. Obviously, he has something. I think it's gonna dictate how the rest of the game goes for Stein based on like how he responds to this Drown in Sorrow.
Yeah. But also,
like, is it worth holding on to like one or both of those Goblin Wizards if he can even save them?
But I mean, he's been in the tank for like 2 minutes almost at this point. So like, what
It's
do
a
we?
long time.
Like
Looks like they're doing something.
You're gonna sack your goblins no matter what. So sack them for your red mana.
Interesting. We got Expedite. That doesn't do much.
Yeah, he
Just trying to get some redraws.
Trying to draw another 1 mana red spell to keep your wizards, I guess.
Yeah, maybe.
Wales was his hand. I don't know.
Oh, there we go. Crimson Wisps.
Okay, so there you go. Those are 2 of the best spells to cast with Zada, though. So that is unfortunate.
They are good. Yeah, but I just don't know if you can afford to lose all your board like this early.
Yeah, but like, I don't know.
I feel like if you like,
I don't know why it took that long. Really, is my like.
Yeah,
I have no problem with saving it. I think you have to. But
yeah, that's fair. Like, you don't really want to lose those guys until after Zada has a chance to come down and like maybe draw you a couple extra cards to rebuild with.
Yeah. I guess I don't know if he drew the Crimson Wisp off the top and he only had the one, right? Like maybe that's the argument. Like,
yeah, that's certainly calculus there.
I think that would be the only thing that's like, okay, here's what happened.
Yeah. But now we untap. So 5 cards in hand. No Prospector. Oh, there we go. We got the mountain. We're probably gonna have to just wait another turn cycle to get Zada out. Okay. More Garblins. Generator Servant's good.
Okay, so
that's good setup.
So he only had those spells, is why. Like,
yeah,
he's had a bunch of dudes.
So like next turn it's gonna be like a good Zada turn if he has like 1 spell. Probably, yep, going to combat. Again, like no one has any creatures except
Yeah.
for this Wrath Weatherlight Stalwart. So it's pretty free. Looks like going to Aaron down to 18.
Yeah. I mean, Bray, I think, is just going for a
Doesn't need to do anything, right?
turn
Just
my land into a dude win or a Nobara Breeze Caller win, maybe. And just like not deploying creatures because you don't have to. So
yeah. I mean, it really doesn't. Just hitting his land drops. All right. Got a Market Festival. So types for 5 now. Oh, Counterspell. Okay, or Arcane Denial. Probably good. Probably good call. Now back to Wrath. I'd like to, I don't know, like, I know that Wrath is trying to be careful, especially with like limited blue mana, but they need to do something.
yeah. Well, it just makes me wonder what they have too, right? Like,
Yeah.
I,
So we got a
I think that,
unicorn and whatever this card is down here that I can't quite see.
and that's, I mean, that's I'm going back to the fact that the mental journey happened and wouldn't have actually been able to, but too late to, like.
Looks like there's a arcane signet that he cast there from one of the Universe Beyond sets, or the Fallout Soul Ring. And then back to Aaron. So hit another swamp, but no board. A lot of cards in hand. I did see a Dusk Legion Zealot, so at least has like a redraw.
Dusk Legion Zealot in this economy?
It still replaces itself. Tithing Blade doesn't seem that great here. You catch what, a Goblin token and a Unicorn. Looks like as a response, Counterspell. Counterspell, draw a card. So he must be hurting pretty bad for bodies if he's willing to counter that Tithing Blade. Yeah, I can't imagine other circumstance. Like he probably just doesn't have any access to things to fuel the Wrath triggers, without both of these creatures he currently has.
Yeah, like there has to be something crazy in hand, right? Because otherwise you have no blue mana. You should have never drawn blue mana at this rate. So I don't like the hand must just have a bunch of blue spells that were uncastable.
Mm-hmm.
So I just don't know.
Yeah. Follows up with the Demon Disciple, like does the same thing.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, you probably just keep the Unicorn and get rid of the Wrath, because you can just recast it. Oh, got a cat entering the battlefield.
It's gonna destroy permanents. Chaos.
It's just like it's a Chaos Orb, yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, like so this is like something that's interesting about like the edict heavy route that a lot of these newer Conrad decks are going, is that on boards like this, they're just kind of embarrassing.
Yeah, they're really bad, but like that's what your deck is just chock full of them, so you got to keep casting them.
I mean, obviously that's not always the case, but like there are times where like a 2-token decks and like Gretchen, these edicts are embarrassing in the face of those cards. And like definitely cuts the effectiveness of your deck a lot if you're having to rely on those. I mean, granted, like they give you 4 Conrad triggers, but in terms of like actually removing.
Yeah, but Conrad hasn't even hit play yet.
Right, exactly. Back to Stein. I want to see the big Zada turn. No one has any blockers.
Zada is never going to hit the board. I am convinced. It'll hit the stack but I would be surprised if it resolves.
Yeah, you're probably right, but we can hope. I can hope. You probably don't want to hope.
I actively never want Zada to ever resolve, so
Yeah, so we can sacrifice Servant and 2 mana to cast Zada, enters with haste, and then you've got 2 mana, 2 red mana to do
and
the
then
big things
if
with.
it gets countered, you're so far away from ever
You're-
casting Zada again.
You're in trouble. Yeah, you have to hit 2 more land drops or get like a ritual or something. I don't know if he even plays. He probably plays rituals, but I can actually check.
Well, there's a bunch of mana.
Zada. Oh yeah, that'll do it.
For 5 mana.
So this is the one. We're doing it.
I mean, I think you let this resolve and then just counter Zada and call it a day. I really like how Bray's playing this game. Speaking of the Sarkhan Red stuff too, like you don't need to do anything. Just develop your mana. Eventually play Gretchen and draw some cards. Like if Gretchen dies, who cares? You don't.
Yeah, I mean, based on this, like, what are you scared of? I mean, Zada is a thing, but you're not under any pressure from Raph.
Yeah, Conrad's
doing
done nothing. Raph's done nothing. And if you counter Zada, Zada is not that scary. So
Right. We have a walrus. I actually think this card's actually pretty good. Mana creature, ETB, Scry 2.
Yeah, I like that card.
For colors that like don't have access to a lot of like card selection, like mono red decks, I think that this card's actually pretty good in a lot of situations.
Yeah, there aren't a ton of decks that want to run dorks that are rocks, but this is among the best of them. It's expensive, right? But like
it's 3 mana.
In monocolor decks that are low on card advantage.
Yeah. And like here, it kind of serves the double purpose of like helping you recast your Zada.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Not sacrificing the generator servant. So now we're just dry. We don't have any mana, right?
Yep. Didn't use the generator servant. Kicking himself probably.
Yeah.
And I think he realized that as soon as he did it, because then he was like, "Oh,
Yeah. What are we doing with the generator servant?
attacking."
Oh, we're turning them all sideways. Yep, there you go. Make the best of it. Unless it's intentional, I find that hard to believe though.
I also find that hard to believe.
I don't think I've ever seen Stein cast Zada and then not follow it up with like 2 or 3 spells. But again, like this is like you said, how Bray doesn't really need to do anything. Does Stein really need to do a whole lot? He's got what 2, 3, like 5, 6 power on the board. That's excluding like prowess stuff. So it's still a lot of damage. And need I remind the audience at home, there are no creatures on the board.
Yeah, this is
No one can block.
It is pretty crazy that's all going to Aaron. Aaron's the only one who can conceivably Wrath again. Although I guess there's Crypt Rats and Pestilence. I don't know if they run both. So like that is the biggest threat, but also just dealing with Zada.
Yeah. I don't think they run Pestilence. Oh no, they do. Yeah, the whole thing. Pestilence, Crypt Rats, Drown in Sorrow. Anything else? I think that's about it as far as like Wrath stuff. Not even Echoing Decay. So yeah, just those 3. Oh, I guess Gangrenous Zombies as well is a pretty big game against Zada. But I guess this way, like you get Zada out next turn. If that card is something that draws you another stuff, great. If Zada dies before you untap, you can recast it now with Generator Servant.
Yeah, which is nice. I just don't see. Yeah, I don't know. It's either that that card in his hand does nothing, and that's why he used the mana to cast Zada, or he flubbed. But
yeah, like I said, he doesn't. With the state of the board right now, like with nothing to get in the way of his little guys, like he might just play Zada for just 3 additional power. I mean, it's conceivable.
Yeah. Ooh, Stone Cedar and Gretchen from Bray.
All right, so now we have some blockers.
And Stone Cedar is arguably the best untapper in the deck if it gets to live.
Right. We're back to Evening Sky.
Yeah.
Some gesturing going on. I wonder if the ref player has Holy Light.
It was discussed in the context of the Mystic Enforcer deck the other day. Let me pull up. South Lakes. Let us see. No Holy Lights to be found. The card's sweet though.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, it's sometimes good, sometimes not, obviously, but
yeah, it's one of the very it has a really high ceiling and a really really low floor. So
yeah, when it's bad, it's embarrassing.
Yeah, I try not to run those cards very often, personally, but if your deck it just depends on the deck, right? Like it could make or break whether or not Evening Sky could attack. So
sure.
Lots of talking. Someone's gonna cast Scouting Hawk.
Okay. So we'll get a land.
What up, Gator?
Yeah, these are the kind of cards that I like in a raft deck. Like things that just generate some value, then you turn them into cards with your commander.
Yeah.
All right, so we're just gonna pass with very telegraphed counterspell mana up.
Blue player's gonna do blue player things.
It would be nice. Oh, looks like I got a snuff out in Aaron's hand there. The obligatory cast a spell targeting Zada, counter that spell. Oh wait, I have a million triggers on this deck already. Whoops.
Yeah. Aaron can't really kill Zada. I mean, Aaron can cast snuff out for 4 mana, but then
puts him in a bad spot though.
Aaron's just dead. Stein's just been bullying Aaron, which is amusing to me. Although the blue players let Zada resolve, so I don't know.
It's true.
It's tough. I don't know what Aaron can really do.
Well, you're gonna need 4 mana to cast that stuff out. But then again, what does that do?
Yeah, I don't think you cast it. It does nothing for you, right? If Zada's just gonna kill you anyway, why?
Yeah. Even Dusk Legion Zealot losing you a life here is kind of touchy.
Yeah.
But it's a blocker. It's a redraw.
I mean, Crypt Rats is really good, right? I guess it clears a good chunk of things right
Crypt Rats
now.
Good.
That's the one out you got to be excited for. I don't know if he runs any other. Let's make this list. Any other wrath type stuff.
I think just Pestilence, other than that, and Gangrenous
Pestilence.
zombies, but that is Summoning Sickness.
Yeah,
if you play it, yeah.
Neither of those do too much, so yeah, that's like your one out here. And based on his lack of tapping 3 mana instantly, I'm gonna guess it's not there.
Yeah.
So
yeah, at this point, you play your blocker, you have a Snuff Out, and you hope that you don't die.
Yeah, you hope Stein gets greedy, right? You hope he tries to like do a bunch of damage to everyone, and then you get to kill the one of the things attacking you and block the other and stay alive.
Yeah.
Live to die another day.
Yeah. I mean, or just try and fade a Prowess trigger and like block Zada, or block the Walrus destroy Zada. You get 6 power, otherwise you're at 7.
Yeah.
Nope,
Pointed discussion. Okay. Man, a Darkness would be so hot out of Conrad.
It sure would. It doesn't.
Yeah.
Doesn't play it though.
I don't know. I guess you're still alive with Snuff Out this way, but
I mean,
barely.
You go to 1, yeah.
This deck doesn't really gain life, unfortunately. So
yeah, it has 1 Toxin Analysis.
Has Creeping Bloodsucker, Toxin Analysis, and Gray Merchant. So
Serrated Scorpion. There's like some random life gain attached to creatures,
Scorpion
but
too. Yeah,
it's not easily accessible.
Yeah.
All right, so Stein's gonna untap with this big ol' mess of creatures. Again, notably for the audience, not a lot of blockers on the battlefield right now.
Yeah. And Zada gets untapped and lived.
Yeah.
So we'll see. We could be off to the races, but
yeah, 2 cards in hand, access to 6 mana, 2 of it colorless, importantly. 2 mana, Fire Diamond. All right, Prowess trigger.
Yeah, looks like just drawing dead. That's why the hesitation on those cantrips makes more and more sense as the turns go by. But I don't know. Knowing what we know now, where you just had a handful of creatures, I would just let everything die.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you'd be down 2 creatures, but you'd still be expediting for 5 cards.
You'd have all this, and you would have drawn, Which, who knows, right? You never know
exactly.
what could have happened,
But then again, he wouldn't have had the turn where he'd be able to cast Zada and the Walrus because he'd be 2 creatures short. So it's tough to say.
Yeah, it's just an interesting. I would never want to be a Zada pilot personally, so
yeah, turn him sideways.
I don't want to have to think that hard. All right, who's getting attacked?
I'd be surprised if he wasn't attacking Aaron, honestly. He's not attacking
with how
2
much,
things.
right? You don't have to kill. You don't have to swing everything at Aaron, do you? Because these are 2/2s. I mean, you.
Yeah, 1, 3. You don't.
I feel like Zada's a deck you don't want to like miss too much damage, have too much damage waste on.
Yeah, you definitely don't.
So.
Looks like Bray took some damage there, took 7.
Interesting.
I think he was at 23 before.
Yeah.
So yeah, went up
I'm
Bray.
surprised, I get wanting to kill a Gretchen player. And like the Gretchen player is probably the scariest player right now. Oh, Gretchen's dead now. Or no, untapping. Sorry. I was like, what is happening? I thought that was a weird scoop.
You mean Gretchen's untapping, the table is dead.
Yeah. Oh, maybe. Yeah. I think I would be like, it's tough because you're also probably afraid of Raph because Raph has a bunch of tokens that could just like decimate your board since you're not doing anything. Like the Zada player's just in like an unenviable spot without the gas. So
without somebody to refuel, yeah.
4, 8. That's a lot of mana.
Yeah, this Stone Cedar is gonna have a big turn.
dot dot dot. Oh, 2 Gretchen activations? Is that what's happening?
I think so. At least one, yeah.
Yeah.
Boop. Now we get another one.
So there's back to 8 mana floating. 4. We got Pod 3 Hive with a win on turn 8.
Okay.
Yeah, pods 1, 3, and 5 are done.
Yep.
And it looks like pods 1, 3, and 4 are done. Pod 5 looks like the moments away from being done. So round 4 may prove to be quite quick.
Perfect. We love to see it. After every other round went to like time.
Literal time, yeah.
Well, you know what that's setting us up for? It's setting us up for another 5-minute win in the finals.
Deal. I'll take it.
Yeah, we got a Dawn's Reflection added onto that Rhymewood Falls.
Yeah. So Borbree's color is a win here, if he can find it.
What about Findhorn Elf?
Findhorn Elf is a 1/1 that will block a Zada attacker. That is my analysis of that card. Unsure how many cards Bray has in hand. Seemingly, like, I don't know. I guess wanting to dig, to find a way to win there is good, but really tapped out a lot and doesn't have much to show for it. Puts you kind of in a vulnerable spot. What is this loose focus targeting? What?
Good question.
Is it targeting a Findhorn Elves?
It looks like he paid into it. So, yeah.
Okay. That's
interesting choice.
Very interesting choice.
He must be starved for bodies. That's the only thing I can think of.
Yeah,
he just has to
needs something to do something.
Yeah.
Is my guess.
It just needs to get something going. Because I don't know what turn it is, but he's got these little guys on the board, and that's it.
Scooby, I just want on record, I hate Crypt Rats. So, if you're gonna put that kind of nonsense out there, I'll make my stance known.
We're gonna have a Sanctuary PDH ban list. It's Rhystic Study, Mystic Remora, and Crypt Rats.
Okay, if I'm doing my custom ban list, let me tell you what cards are coming off the ban list immediately. It's those 2 blue ones you mentioned. So,
all right, you floodgate player.
Just any blue deck. As all. I love blue. I love drawing cards. Those cards are completely fine and fair, as far as I'm concerned.
I'd like to know what dictionary you use and how they define fine and fair.
So I am fine, and fair is anything blue. So, see,
you messed it up. I am fine and blue is fair. There you go.
Got a capsize coming out.
Robert gets it. Blue needs help. See,
yeah,
blue does not need help.
It's like we're targeting the Stone Cedar with this capsize.
So yeah,
so
even
a couple things
trying to pit.
Oh no, he's bouncing the land. Okay, never mind. That's a good one. That's much better.
Brutal. Well, I think
draw a card.
Unfortunately for Raph, well, it'll depend on how the players see that. That should make Bray significantly less threatening. if I'm anyone else, I'm like, okay, cool. Well, Raph, you're thanks for doing that. Your service has been, well received. Time for you to take some damage at 32 life.
Looks like we're casting Resculpt. Is that what that is?
Yep. I hope it's on Zada.
Yeah, looks like it is.
Interesting.
I really want to know what that last card is, because like he's had it forever and has never cast it, but somehow like thinks it might be relevant here somehow.
Very what's the word here?
We have a response.
With every decision.
Capsize. Bounce Zada.
Why?
Interesting.
That makes Zada way more castable, so
yeah.
I don't know how I feel.
Aaron's gonna pitch a Stinkweed up to a blood token.
Yeah. I like that. Not dredging though.
No. Yeah, you just need card.
I think he drew Creeping Bloodsucker, so there's some amount of life gain.
Yep.
And it's a pretty good blocker. I think it's a 1/3.
It's 1/2.
Or 1/2.
But it still gets in the way of like, Goblin Instigator.
Yeah. It does something.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it certainly does.
There it is. I mean, if you're Stein, I still don't know who you attack, right? Like,
yeah, it's tough. I don't know, if I'm Stein, what he's probably doing, I mean, there could be an argument for like getting Aaron super low and then just getting Brabu super low and getting people to a point where you can just like kill multiple bears at once. But even then, like it seems kind of trivial to like kill Aaron and still maintain some pressure on Bray.
yeah.
So I don't know. It really just depends on what's in his hand. I think like the prowess triggers and the Festival Crusher trigger are huge factors, and if he can cast a spell, it's a ton of extra damage. But now, yeah, we're looking at Creeping Bloodsucker and Dusk Legion Zealot. A lot of mana to work with here.
I'm not super concerned about time, but let me post an announcement here.
Right, there's Zada.
She's back.
She just took a little break, and now she's back. We're just going right to combat. I mean, it really just matters if like his one card in hand is a spell. If it is, he can do a lot of damage. If it's not, then he has to pretty much just send everything at like targets that can't trade with his creatures.
Yeah, Raph or Gretchen.
Yeah.
And you probably need to start chipping away at Raph before Raph makes tokens, is my opinion, but shows what I know.
All right, so we've reached a decision, and we're turning sideways.
With just the wizards. Oh
not. No, we're going.
Further decisions are being made.
Yeah, so this is... Let's see. So it's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 damage, assuming no other spells. Looks like we're going at least some portion of it at Aaron here because he's blocking.
Yeah.
Generally, you don't block creatures that aren't attacking you.
Aaron's the only one who's threatening like board wipes, so it still makes sense. But what is this?
We have a spell.
Daring
so we can prowess
escape. Let me read what.
1/0 first strike, I think. Maybe scry 1.
Scry
yeah.
1. Yeah. See, scry 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6
so
times.
Big anthem.
7 times.
Gonna snuff, I'd assume. But snuff what, you might ask?
I don't know. Yeah, this is where it depends on like what all was going his way.
Because like probably not Zada, right? Because Zada's not attacking. Doesn't save you any damage. Trigger's already on the stack.
Yeah.
So if he's snuffing to stay alive, it needs to
It'd be
be
a creature.
probably Festival Crasher, unless
it's
being blocked.
Yeah.
I assume he's blocking Festival Crasher, so probably a Goblin in that case, like a Prowess Goblin.
Yeah, I guess if you're doing this in response to Zotri, you're stopping one scry too.
Yeah.
Which is nice, but
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know how much. I don't know what's going where. The downside of not listening to the table's audio, but
yeah. So at least like this many scry triggers help set up next turn, make sure he has something to do.
Which will maybe make everyone else act with a little more urgency on the Zada. It's kind of just gotten,
Yeah, so looks like we killed a Prowess token. So now we're going to resolve all these scry triggers until he finds one that he likes.
Or until he's hit 6 cards.
Yeah. I assume that there's going to be something like workable in the top 6.
I feel like it's pretty simple. If it doesn't say draw a card, you skip it.
Yeah. Okay, there we go. We've made our decision. Or even if it's something that doesn't have draw card, but just like is like brute force, like +3/+0, or +2/+3. Like
yeah,
it's probably good enough.
I don't know if it is against Raph right now, though. I mean, Raph could just untap, play token thing, and then very much not enough. So,
sure.
I mean, Raph hasn't done that yet, so who knows? But like that is what the deck does, or it's supposed to do. So
that's a good point.
I think I would just be looking for a cantrip, but
yeah, I think that's like the easiest decision to make is to find a cantrip.
Yeah, or isn't there's a venture card, right?
There is.
I don't know if
there's also like things that are like close to drawing a card. Like there's the one that exile top card of your library. Yeah. Probably like some calculus as to whether or not you want to keep that one on top. It's good, but like, is that what you need?
Yeah. Is that a wild growth or some type of aura? Oh, I don't know which one that is.
I can't quite see it.
It looks like it's one of the Universes Beyond frames.
I think there's a Universes Beyond Wild Growth, so it could be that.
It looks like it taps for double green though, so it's either the one that ventures, or which I don't believe is, or it's Overgrowth. But I thought Overgrowth already happened. So, Find the Path is the one in the graveyard, and that's the one that taps for double green. So maybe this one is Overgrowth.
Okay.
Let us look. Yeah, it looks like it's the Warhammer Overgrowth.
Okay.
Doing all this stuff on his turn. I mean, if you find a Freed, Freed doesn't even win you the game here, though, with Overgrowth, isn't the unfortunate thing, so... I feel like I would just wait. Personally,
yeah,
I don't think you gain. I mean, really, the only thing I think you gain is if you get Muddle, you can go find Moment's Peace.
Sure. Yeah, so it looks like a lot of that damage went at Raph.
Yeah.
Okay, another untapper, so more round or more mana.
Yeah.
Like, and I mean, there is something to be said for just like having a lot of mana to activate Gretchen over and over and over again.
Well, yeah, if you do it end of turn, right? Like,
yeah.
I don't know. I see lots of people play Gretchen and tap during their main phase, and unless you are fairly certain you're gonna like draw away to win, or you like desperately need something to cast during your main phase that will keep you alive, and you have no other like outs.
Sure.
You look so much more threatening when you just have a bunch of mana, right? Like
Yeah, exactly.
and people are more inclined to stop doing things or not do things.
Yeah.
Here we go. Rousing Assault. See, untap.
Okay.
Play a creature.
So let's give Stein the card he scryed to the top.
Yeah, I don't like this at all. Oh, is this? Hold on. Is that being milled?
It's a Battle Screech. That's probably what he.
Or is this? Was this milled or was it countered? It looks like it was milled, I guess. So.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. There it is. Burning Crescendo is the one I was referring to earlier. The +3/+1 exiles top card that you can cast.
Yeah. Man.
So Rising Souls is what, like 3 non-land spells. So make 3 spirits.
But also maybe just signed your.
Shouldn't be 4 spirits. Oh no! Aaron's still alive.
Counts.
What am I talking about? Yeah, 4 spirits. I thought he was dead for some reason. I always think he's dead.
But also just maybe signed your death certificate with that Blazing Crescendo. So that's an interesting move. Ooh, Alk is talking. Ooh. 0-4 but had fun. Yeeted out of the games pretty aggressively. I'm sorry, Alk, but I'm glad you had fun.
And flashback a Battle Screech making some birds. Yeah. So we're kind of looking for something that gives trample, get through those tokens, I think. I think, Burning Crescendo is a good start. Exile top 6 is a lot.
Yeah, you went from 1 card next turn to 2 cards and 6 hits. So
yeah.
This Zada getting left alone. It's crazy to me.
Did it hurt? Did it hurt you deep inside?
It hurts, yeah. I can't stand for this.
All right, Aaron goes up to 8. Yeah, I mean, this Bloodsucker's going to bring him right back out of this.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
Yeah, I mean, it's 3 life a turn.
At the board of Zada can just yeet Aaron into outer space, probably.
But he's been able to do that the last 2 turns.
Yeah. Well, not really. I mean, kill Aaron, yes, but then have nothing to do against the other players as they're developing boards.
Well, no, I mean, he doesn't really need to. All you need to do is just attack with a couple more creatures. I mean, not even devote any spells.
Well, now it's a little easier because you do get spells, but yeah.
Right. Yeah, I mean, you just had enough power on board and just with baseline stuff.
Yeah.
Can't quite make out that one. Victim of Night, possibly. Looks like you paid 3 mana for it. So.
Oh, that's an Oubliette.
Oh, okay.
If that goes on a Gretchen, that's real bad news bears for Bray.
Yeah.
And that looks like Bray's picking up his hand, so.
Yeah, it's kind of tough.
I mean, you got to counter it.
Yeah. It's Arcane Denial
you knew
from Lord of the Rings.
You knew the counter spell was there. You saw it get drawn. Muddle.
Oh, okay.
I find it interesting. They're just going to let Zada untap and do Zada things.
Especially, like, Evening Sky's decision to tap down more creatures to draw cards. Like,
this is a very... Yeah. I mean, I think Zada's
Like
getting
this
Zada's
is a big
about to
opening for
punish.
Stein.
Yeah, Zada's about to punish this disrespect. Like
Like
it's
6 cards is
crazy.
a lot.
I mean, this oubliette does effectively take Bray out of the game. Like, it's really, really good.
Oh no, Sada.
Oh, all that fight, and I'm surprised they didn't try to talk about it first before, or maybe he did. And he's like, "I'm not saying what I'm gonna do, and you do what you gotta do."
Yeah. But like now
That
now
fight
Stein's just
seems,
gonna attack him with everything.
yeah. There should have been. It would have been in his interest to like talk with the table about that oubliette before a bunch of things were cast. But
Yeah.
ooh, and spoiler, we're gonna have the only Dave the Alcatron Vader for finals commentary.
Oh, wonderful.
After his impressive performance today.
Someone has to bring up the rear. It's not a luxurious job, but somebody has to do it, and only the most brave and courageous.
Look, someone had to bring Death Rattle Oni and put it on the competitive map, and I can think of no better person than Alcatron.
That's right.
See, like, the chat believes in you. Yeah. Alc's the only person to 0-4 and make the finals. So now I believe a lot more in Aaron's Creeping Bloodsucker, but I do think you're right. Aaron might get yeeted here out of the, unless he has a way to kill some more stuff.
So what is
I
this?
have no idea what this card is. 3 mana.
Maybe a Phyrexian Rager?
Yep. That's exactly
Okay.
what it is.
So 2 blockers. So unless, I don't know. Let me think. So you can block 2 things. Stein can very reasonably just like single cast the +3 damage pump spell. I mean, it's gonna take everything, but he can kill him, I'm sure.
Yeah. And now Evening Sky tapped out for Bray's turn. I mean, this is real interesting. That fight over the oubliette was really, I don't know how
interesting.
I really want to know what was said, right?
Yeah,
like,
I mean, from an outsider's perspective, like I do see how the two of them, or rather like how Bray would want to keep Zada around, because Zada's doing a lot of the heavy lifting for Bray. But yeah, I guess Evening Sky said no thanks.
Yeah. Because Bray, Stein has to commit everything to, probably is going to commit everything to Aaron to get this oubliette dealt with. And then Bray has 5 cards in hand, a bajillion D mana.
And no response from Raph, yeah.
And a Stein that has, everyone's getting
yeeted out of the game.
Oh no. Oh, hey Liam, I don't know if you want to go in there. Everyone just got
It's like, in a mystery when the lights go out and somebody's dead when the lights come back on. That's gonna be what this is. All right, one at a time. We're coming right back. There we go. All right, so here we go. Yeah, here comes the pump spell. that we knew about. Oh no, this is a different one.
This is Sudden Breakthrough.
This one gives +2 in first strike, I think, and makes a treasure. Could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's what it does.
So first strike and creates treasure. Man, it's like you know magic cards or something.
I know some of them. So that gives a Festival Crasher trigger, Prowess trigger, +2 power on the Walrus, which is what I imagine would have been unblocked. I think the Prowess guy and the Festival Crasher are what you want to put your creatures in front of. Oh, dead. Zod has returned.
She's back.
Yeah, and this is a good example of what Oubliette does to a game.
Oubliette, because it just takes personality game, it can lead to taking other people out of games.
Yeah, I mean, I think that if you look at the way Stein's been playing, he's been very specifically trying to move around the table and equally lower life totals. Once Oubliette comes down, he just has to kill you. I mean, it's really no more complicated than that.
Breeze Color, we did it. We're going infinite. So this is infinite looting with a land that taps for 3. It's also 1 mana per loop. So basically, you get the land you return to your hand as a mana, and you get 3 times 2 from the Overgrowth Enchanted land. So you get to loot until you find your way to go actual infinite, and then you win the game.
Right, you use the 3 plus the 1 from the land that you bounce alongside the Hierophant, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, because the Hierophant, sorry, that's the big part. The Hierophant untapping from the landfall trigger makes it, so you go infinite.
Right.
Well, infinite.
Now we're just
restricted by deck size, but
we're just looking at what Stein had on top of his library for fun and giggles.
Well, I think he cast Blazing Crescendo to try to maybe hit a Pyroblast.
Oh, sure.
I don't think it's all for
Nope.
funsies, but
Yeah, Reckless Impulse is like the only thing that's even remotely relevant, and that's a sorcery. Brightstone Ritual. There's one card I can't make out. Oh, Goblin War Party, okay. So yeah, none of these are castable right now except for Brightstone Ritual, I think.
yeah, Trojan. Is that old board Empty the Warrens? I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, Empty the Warrens.
Impulse. Yeah. So yeah. And more mana isn't gonna do anything for you here. So.
Nope.
So there's a lot of talk. I guess does Stein have cards in hand?
No, his last remaining card was the Combustion that or the Burning Crescendo that exiled all these cards. So he's empty-handed. He just has access to these 6 cards in exile.
So what are we all thinking about here? Why?
Probably just exchanging congratulations.
I don't think that's what's happening, but it should be. I don't think Raph plays foil or days. Let me double check that though. And it's pretty easy for this deck to play around days at this point. So let's just look. I mean, we have plenty of time left, I suppose. Yeah, no foils. Man, spell table is...
There it goes.
Okay.
Peace out.
All right. So yeah, probably just walk through what he's about to do and ta-da. All right. So
exactly how you draw it up,
Yeah. I love.
Yeah, that Oubliette really just kind of like turned everything on top of its head,
Yeah. If I'm Aaron, I don't know if there's like a good target for that Oubliette, right? Because taking Gretchen out of the game doesn't do anything for you. It just lets them ignore Gretchen, which lets them focus you more. But they keep you alive a little bit, so they probably like focus on the raft deck first.
Yeah, maybe.
So maybe doing that would work. Capsize was already gone from Bray, so Bray's gonna have a tough time dealing with that oubliette. But so yeah.
Yeah, it's what it is.
Yeah, but we will see what they make sure they report, and then we'll go ahead and announce the top 4. So give me just 1 second here, and then we'll take a little break right before the finals. So, so we got Bray, and then that was turn 10. All right. So after 4 rounds of exhilarating Swiss PDH, our top 4 is as follows. In the first seat, 3-1 on the day, and with an intentional concession in the last round, is Ryan Pauper at 15 points. In the second seat is Bray, who we just watched win on Gretchen. Third seat is David, who I believe is on Malcolm Kedis, Ankylosaur. And then sneaking into fourth is Aaron on tiebreakers. There were a handful of people at 10 points, but Aaron snuck in with the best tiebreakers on Sir Conrad. So
awesome.
I'll be posting that announcement here shortly. Any thoughts before we cut to a break and then the finals?
Going to be a heck of a final pod.
Yeah, we got a little bit
of
everything.
Cool stuff. Yeah, I know. It's going to be interesting. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. Perfect. All right. Well, we will go ahead and cut to break. We'll be back here in just a couple minutes. Let everyone get a little breather in before we get to the finals, and then we'll show all the fun action.
That's right.
See you soon.